Let me tell you a story. I have gone through a lot of different things in my teens and my 20s, and it really changed me a lot as a person. I would call it a personal transformation, and I think a lot of other people would too. Because of this, I've had to start a lot of things, I have to try a lot of things, and I've had to end a lot of things. Some of them, they felt like huge failures in the moment, but honestly, if it weren't for them, I wouldn't have been the person I am today. If I look back at my teenage years, I was a very shy kid, very skinny kid as well. I kind of looked like a skeleton, to be honest. But yeah, I was very skinny and I was very shy. I was not very good socially. I didn't have very much confidence in myself. I wasn't good with girls. And some of the things I wished for back then was just being the confident guy that would be able to socialize quite easily, be able to attract girls, and actually have a body that I really enjoyed. I also tied my lack of aesthetics, I would call it, my lack of size, as one of the reasons why I wasn't confident with girls. And also I had a bunch of acne, which didn't help either, so I was a bit of a mess back then. I was fairly intelligent, so I had that going for me, so school was fairly easy. But yeah, the social aspects, they definitely weren't easy, and also I had a lot of trouble actually progressing with fitness. So when I came into university, I decided to kind of see it as a blank slate, meaning that I would forget about my past failures from when I was in high school and just try to act as if I was already that confident guy. I know this is harder than what it sounds like, but I'm actually very impressed that I was able to take on that mindset at 19 when I was going into university, considering where I came from. So I took on this mindset, and actually a lot of people, they told me I was really likable. When I started actually socializing, I decided to sign up for a bunch of different things, so I'll meet a bunch of people and actually build my network and build connections with people and learn from them and share what I'm learning, share my experiences with them. And it was a really beautiful thing. I was really anxious in some of these moments. I had mild social anxiety, I would say. Maybe some would even describe it as more than just mild. I remember at a party where I had signed up to be a part of our Friday bar, which is just, we had this bar on campus, and I had to bartend occasionally in it. And we're in charge of making the events for people to come there on Fridays and have beers and socialize and all that kind of jazz. So I remember we had one of our internal parties, and man, the amount of new people that were there and the environment, it actually was kind of traumatizing for me because I got quite easily overwhelmed. So I remember I had this panic attack at some point where I had to leave and go to the bathroom and just kind of collect myself in that moment. But yeah, I came back to the party and I was able to be there, and I repeated this process multiple times. I became a mentor for international students as well. So all this is to say that I really pushed my comfort zone a lot at university, and it really changed me as a person. And then I actually managed to get a spot in Cardiff University to go there as an Erasmus student. So I actually went on exchange at the start of my master's degree, and that is really what propelled me forward, because back at my hometown I still had my parents close by. I still had comfort in that I had a lot of friends at this point, and things, they were getting more comfortable as I was slightly improving, but I was still mama's boy, as one of my old friends would say. But yeah, I just briefly moved out half a year ago before going on exchange, so I'd just gotten used to living alone, or actually I was living in a student dorm, so I had people around me, but I had to take care of stuff myself. And now I'm taking this big leap of moving countries and actually going to the UK for half a year. And man, that is like one of the best things I've done for myself. I remember my parents trying to talk me out of it because I'm an only child and they've always been very protective of me. I decided to just go for it and see what happened. And the amount of people I met there was incredibly eye-opening, and the experiences I had, because I had made the commitment to myself that I would go there mainly to be able to turn myself into a social butterfly, to really show to myself that I could do this. So I went there and I went out every single day for the first 7 days, and I just had the one goal of collecting people's information and connecting with the people there and trying to create a social group. And I actually managed to collect around 50 contacts, and make a huge Facebook Messenger group from that. I'll just start coordinating nights out. And I ended up curating a very nice friend group of 6 people, and we would go out to pubs together, we would travel together, we would do all these things together. One of the guys, I actually celebrated his 30th birthday in Spain. after the Erasmus exchange was over. So it was a really grand time. And when I came back, it was kind of interesting. A lot of people, as I was wrapping up my master's degree here in Denmark, a lot of people, they would actually mention to me that it seemed like I had matured a lot during that half year. I'd changed a lot as a person. I was much more calm, much less anxious from what it seemed like. And I felt like a much more confident person also. I was actually believing in myself much more in the goals that I had. And back then I didn't have that much experience with dating. I'd been meeting some women from going to just university, but it was very limited, and I felt like it was a lot out of my control. So when I finished my master's degree, I decided to go all in on becoming good at dating. And back in the days we would call it game, but it's more like social dynamics, just becoming really good at not just socializing to make friends, but actually to meet women. And I had this time in my life just after COVID hit, where I would just go out a lot and meet a lot of women and date multiple women. And I was using it in search for clarity, kind of to learn about myself, what I really liked, what I didn't like, what I wanted from myself in the future. And I met some wonderful women that way. And I'm really happy I did those things. I probably spent a little more time than I'd like to admit on optimizing my Tinder and trying to come up with the perfect lines to say to the women, which, spoiler alert, it doesn't really matter what you say. Just go up and say hi. But yeah, there are so many awesome things that I experienced, as well as getting a coach, a mindset coach that helped me through this stage in my life and helped me to actually go on even more dates by improving my mindset. That, along with my newfound confidence, I decided to try a few business ideas. I tried to do some guitar coaching, I tried to make money with photography, and I tried to start a couple of YouTube channels. I mean, this is, I think, my 5th or 4th attempt at this. Apparently I really love it so much. I love the process of creating videos, but I just never cracked the code to really make viral videos. We'll see how it goes this time, but this time I'm just sharing and hoping that some people resonate with it. If not, then I'm happy that I've made these videos for myself to journal my progress through life. But yeah, some of the recent business ideas I started, the money with photography thing, I've managed to make 8K with photography, which is pretty dope. And a lot of people, they are starting to talk about me in my hometown about that I'm a photography guy. I've apparently been mentioned at some point, and they're like, I heard you're good with a camera. Could we set something up here for a portrait shoot? And I think that's pretty cool, those experiences. But I'm also at the point now where I've tried a lot of things. I'm 29 years old. I have a pretty stable job from my master's degree in chemistry. I work at a tech startup, make some pretty good money there. And I also have the photography thing on the side. But I'm still like, this is not really what I dreamed of when I was younger. I was dreaming of way more freedom, dreaming of being able to have more control over my time. So yeah, on paper, I'm doing pretty well, making good money. I've built a strong physique as well. I have an incredible girlfriend who supports me. But I still struggle with, I don't really know what to do with my life. And this is something I'm gonna keep journaling about on this channel, reflecting about. And hopefully I'll figure it out within the next half year. That's the plan anyway. I'm turning 30 in July. I've kind of seen my 20s as a pre-season to what life is really like. My 20s were for learning a bunch of things, experiencing a bunch of things, figuring out what I really like. I've tried a lot of things now, so now I really need to zone into what is my purpose, what I really want to do with my life. So I'm using this to gain as much clarity as I can. But I think that's the beauty of life. It's like an open world game. You don't really know what the next step is, but every chapter you've lived so far, it has prepared you for the next, and I have no clue what happens next. I'm hoping the dots will connect, and if they don't, I'm gonna make sure that I enjoy every single step of the way. Because one quote resonated with me with an old mentor of mine. He mentioned he actually went to prison at some point. He mentioned one of the older guys in prison told him that don't waste your life away, son. Find the beauty of every day in this prison. And even though sometimes we can feel like not all days are nice, people hate Mondays, usually you go to work, your colleagues are being annoying, you don't like what you're doing currently, and all these things, but there's some beauty to that. In a couple of years, you'll probably look back at that and you'll be able to see the beauty in those situations. And I think it's really important to remember where we came from. I'm really happy that I was this shy guy when I was a teenager. I'm really happy for all my struggles in my 20s so far, because those are the things that I really learned from. Those are all really wonderful, and we shouldn't take those for granted because at some point they've vanished. You can't go back in time, you can't re-experience those things in the same manner, in the same light. And without those things, they wouldn't have shaped me in the way that I am today, and I'm really grateful for the person I am today. So if you're holding on to a chapter from the past, whether it's a friendship, a dream, or a hobby, don't focus on the fact that it's over. Focus on what it taught you, how it shaped you, and the person you've become because of it. Just because it ended doesn't mean it wasn't a success. Thanks for watching. If this resonates with you, share your own story in the comments. I'd love to hear how your own chapters have shaped you. And if you're into reflecting on life, chasing dreams, or just enjoying some nostalgic Pokemon vibes, hit subscribe. Let's keep exploring together.